Hey, what's up everybody? This is Major Dave back with another Star Citizen video. Today we're going to talk about Jumptown 2.0, my experiences with it, what I thought about it, what I think can be done with it to improve the event, some suggestions, and some thoughts. Let's get right into it. Alright, so to me, one of the coolest factors about this event is the fact that it's available to everyone in their contracts manager. So there's sort of a PA or an announcement done within Stanton that everybody gets to listen to once they accept the mission. And everyone goes to the central location. And for the first time ever, or not the first time ever, but for a lot of players, for the first time ever, you actually get to congregate everyone in the server in one central area. And you can see a lot of movement. You can see other players in action. And that's a big positive improvement from any other gameplay in the current limited 50-player server due to the fact that the game is still currently in development and there are a lot of limitations with the current technology. But this is great because you're actually somewhere where other people are present, and this overall by itself is a big net positive. And even though this was definitely not free of bugs, the event itself is pretty cool because now they can build upon this and make something even better, improve upon what they found to be issues currently in this iteration of it. So it does open up a lot of potential for our experience in game in terms of the organic interaction with the players in the server. Another cool thing about this event is that you can choose to be whatever you want. You can be the good guy, you can be the bad guy, and you can also be a guard. You can be somebody who is flying around Jumptown and helping people get boxes by protecting them from any quote-unquote griefers or orgs or groups of people who want to come in and take control of Jumptown, or just want to plain destroy the ships that are parked there, steal the ships that are there, take boxes without having to do the hard work of going back and forth to obtain the boxes. So this is a cool thing. It allows you the freedom to choose what role you want to play in the event. It is a PvP event, so I don't quite understand the gripe that people have with those who come in and blow you up or get into a fight or steal your boxes. I mean, after all, in my opinion, who cares? This is just the game in an alpha state even, where the currency you're making from this event more than likely is going to get wiped at some point in the future again, so it doesn't really matter. Plus, there are still other missions available for you to make money on that doesn't necessarily need to be Jumptown, of course. And so in my final conclusion of this short thought is that Jumptown is just to have fun, is to try something different in the game, to do something different, and to complain about the fact that you're actually having a different set of interactions with other players is, quite frankly, a little insane when most people complain about the fact that there is no gameplay in the game. And finally, they're offering something that gives you a little bit of a different experience, and all of a sudden you're complaining. So it is hard to please everyone, of course, but I find that commentary to be a little bit annoying and frustrating because the developers are trying to grant something that's a little bit different and a little bit cool, and yet here we are still getting annoyed by certain things that are bound to happen again in a PvP environment. And of course, if you want to avoid these frustrations, there's a solution to it, a workaround. You can always go to a low population server and freely get into Jumptown, haul all of the cargo that you want, all of the boxes, take them to the contraband drop-off site, make all the money that you want, no problems, no interruptions, no interactions. But is that fun gameplay? Is that something that you're going to want to do over and over again? No, because that's going to get boring. So if you do find yourself in that scenario, that's fine. However, if you get into a server with 40 plus people, you're bound to find these different type of interactions. So I would say you can choose to do the quick thing with the low pop server, make the money, And once you've made enough money or the amount of money that you'd like, once you've found these low population servers, get out of there as quickly as possible, do what you got to do, get into the high population servers and actually try to experience the PvP event that it is. Obviously, all of these things are my opinions. All of these comments are just based upon my experiences in Jumptown, or Jumptown as I've come to call it. So take it as you would like to take it. If you had a different type of experience, feel free to put your feedback in the comments section. I'd love to know what happened to you, what you endured. Did you have fun? Were you quote-unquote griefed? Did you have a hard time? Did you not enjoy it? Did you get upset over certain players' actions? Or did you just take it for what it is? An in-game event to have some fun and experience something different from the normal type of lackluster gameplay, let's be honest. I do wish the event happened more often. I do get that the reason they set a limited schedule for Jumptown 2.0 is due to the fact that the developers were away on winter break for 2021, and as such they couldn't monitor current activity all the time, and should something fail with an ongoing event, they couldn't just simply log on and fix, repair, maintain the server, etc. So I understand that. Nonetheless, I believe it would have been really cool to have the event as a constant. The boxes could have been produced on and off for a period of time, and this would have increased the traffic or influx of players, and I think it would have led to even more interesting scenarios in Jumptown, giving those that participated in it to be able to amass different ships or maybe land-based vehicles in the area, setting something up for a bigger type of interaction or battle on location, which would have been super cool. But the problem is, even with these imagined scenarios, there's a big issue there because the event was not set up for land-based gameplay with vehicles, but rather the focus was on ships. It would have been nice to see a different focus so that we could take advantage of these newly released vehicles with hopefully what I would have thought to have lower signatures, which they did not, so that you could sneak into the area from far away by landing your ship 20 kilometers, 15 kilometers away, or even further, and taking your Dragonfly or your other hovercraft of choice with the new Gravlev technology that they introduced prior to the event, riding into this with your group of players and taking over from land, as well as your ballistas and other land-based vehicles. That would have been really cool if they put an emphasis on this. But unfortunately, the signatures are pretty high, and those can be found from very far away by ships and scouted and killed before they can even do anything, cause any damage, or any problems for anyone out on Jumptown. So you could not take advantage of any aircraft weaponry that the ballista may have, and other vehicles would also have, that would have made for an even more fun experience. And there was no way to prepare for it because the event, even though scheduled, was randomized with regard to the location. So there was really not an easy way or a good way to know where it was going to pop up. So you could not go with your organization or your mates and take the vehicles there and leave them parked and waiting for the event to begin, so you could quote unquote protect the area. So that's one of the limitations that I found with Jumptown 2.0. Now, I do understand that all of this may have been too taxing on the server to spawn several locations of Jumptown as an ongoing event, as well as having more entities available in each location. As such, they made it into a limited time event. For me, that makes sense, but I'm not sure. I dug the fact that in this event, the multi-tool, the tractor beam, was actually super useful and very functional in terms of grabbing boxes and putting them in the ship without having to run to and from. So it's cool to see some of these technologies or these developing tools that they have slowly rolled out, very slowly, with each patch, to finally see them come to fruition in terms of, hey, why was this put into the game if there's no use for it? But hey, wait a minute, down the road, there's applicability for it, because now with this event, the tool itself is super, super good and super useful. So that's one nice thing to see, and it makes me hopeful for the future of the game in terms of things that come out that at first seem to make no sense, but in the grander scheme of things, they start to come together and form a cohesive chain of functionalities in the game that will allow for an eventual full loop or full circle of activities and tasks for each of these tools available in the game. So in the background, I've been showing some clips of my different runs through Jumptown, and in this specific one, I found a very friendly server where everybody was conga lining to grab boxes. They were helping each other out. There was somebody outside patrolling the area with their Mustang, keeping people that were trying to grief away from the, well, quote-unquote grief, away from the area so people could get their stuff and get out and come back, reload and get out. But this didn't last very long, because it is exactly this scenario that invites other players to come and mess things up on purpose. It is ripe for this type of thing. And personally, I welcome it because it makes things fun and challenging. So after conga lining for quite some time, everything had been going quite smoothly until somebody showed up with a hammerhead right above Jumptown and decided to start firing at anyone and everyone. Some people rallied and tried to fight back, and they were successful at it, but nonetheless, this is where things started to go downhill really quick, really fast. And this is precisely the moment where I should have made my retreat, my hasty retreat, but I got greedy and decided to go and get more boxes, thinking that other players would be doing the job of patrolling Jumptown when it should not be their responsibility. And then, as if things couldn't get any better, this guy showed up and began to wreak havoc within Jumptown. I should have taken the opportunity to kill him, but I didn't. I hesitated, and that was my big mistake. But seeing as though there were still plenty of players voluntarily patrolling the area, I felt relatively safe, is Jumptown safe, to go ahead and keep grabbing boxes. And once more, that was my big mistake of assuming things when I should not. Anyway, lessons learned, am I right? So to add insult to injury, the server was already falling apart at the seams, and not only that, but my cargo door decided to malfunction, another unwelcome bug. But the Cuddy Black does have side doors, so I try to get in through there, and even though the gravity is fairly low, it didn't work for me in this moon, unfortunately. And meanwhile, the situation around me kept getting worse. But then, Nice Guy Mustang came to the rescue. He tried to line up his wing just right so I could jump on it, and then jump from it into my ship. It was pretty cool. I thought this was something that, again, was another unexpected interaction that only Jumptown would provide for the players. So this is something that is really cool, and I really appreciated this. It's organic, it's unexpected, so definitely a major plus and a lot of fun to experience. So due to my amazing gameplay skills in Star Citizen, it did take me a couple of attempts to get into the ship from his wing. So I had to figure out a better way and a better approach because my hero helped me out so much. And finally, I was able to make it inside my ship. And once this happens, you can try to open the cargo door from inside. And this should hopefully fix that bug and unlock the exterior button so you can once again close and open the cargo door from that option outside the ship. And just as I had some hope left in humanity, this happens. And did I get back inside my ship and leave after this? You bet I didn't, but I should have. No, like I alluded earlier, I got greedy and decided to go fetch the boxes from the ship that had blown up and bring them into my ship. Because after all, this is Jumptown. And little did I know that there was a sly devil watching me from behind and following me slowly as I made my way back to my ship with that little box from the blown up ship, the ever-present Hornet, waiting to strike. At this moment I wasn't suspecting much, but then as I kept watching, I started to feel a little bit worried about what was about to happen, and what do you know? It came to fruition. Jumptown! 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 Now what I should have done here is made a strategic exit, gone inside the ship, headed to the cockpit, and VTOL the crap out of there, because the VTOL speed on a Cuddy Black is super fast, and there would have been no way for him to catch up to me, and I would have made it out of there alive and returned the contraband for some money. But I made the mistake of going back outside due to a lack of awareness of the situation, and as such, I got destroyed. And it happens, and I wasn't upset about it because it's part of the event. It's to be expected. It is PvP. I did think he wanted to steal my ship with all that loot inside, but no, instead he went on a rampage and wantonly destroyed everything. So, some considerations about Jumptown. There is only one access point. That is a chokehold. It is easily sniped from afar. It is easily controlled. People may have issues going in and coming out of there. There are 3 rooms, 2 of which are a waste of space. They could have put box dispensers on either one of those other 2 extra rooms. It would have made for something more interesting, and perhaps disperse the players around inside the building, and confusing the gameplay a little bit, making it again more dynamic. The box dispenser could have dispensed boxes with less frequency, and as such made them be more valuable every time he came out, causing again more infighting, which would have been very interesting. So these are just some suggestions. I also believe turrets could have been placed around Jumptown to protect it from incoming invaders or fighters or aggressors for the organization or the group of people who took control of it before others arrived. There could be a button inside the building that activates these turrets and gives them control. It would have to be defended and switched on and off by other people to gain control of it, and perhaps the turrets would defend you and those involved in your party. That may have been something very cool to add to the game and to the event as well. Another additional point would be maybe a bunker entrance would have been neat to see. Maybe copy paste a bunker next to Jumptown so you can access it from underground and then attack it from there and protect it from there. rail guns that you could hop onto and take control of, just like those in the bunkers to fight off incoming ships and land vehicles, underground hangars where you could land your ship and control JT from within, and refuel and rearm as needed, and landing pads like those found at outposts. And finally, it would have been cool to see them take advantage of the different environments in Stanton like Hearthstone or Microtech, where different dynamics in the event would be necessary to take different actions, and it would have been something very cool for them to do and to see. So maybe in the future, we will be able to experience that. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you did not like the content, I thank you anyway. If you did, please consider giving it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for future Star Citizen content. And as always, see you in the verse.